Welcome to the podcast. We're kicking off the 4th season of the podcast, a space designed to have raw, real, and authentic conversations around health and wellness, featuring none other than our incredible pure ambassadors of wellness.
Hi, I'm Evelyn.
Hi, I'm Jalen.
Hi, I'm Misha.
And I'm Jalen.
And we're going to go ahead and start with the first question. So, what are your opinions on dating? Do you feel like it's hard as a student to date? Is it even a priority?
Going into college, I didn't see it as a priority. I kind of just happened upon meeting my girlfriend. We met through mutual friends, so I haven't really been a part of dating culture. It was kind of as soon as I met her, I knew I wanted to be with her, so.
Personally, it's not a priority. I've never dated in my life, so there's that. And then I'm just studying, so that's my priority right now.
I don't think dating's ever been my priority either. It just if it happens, it happens. And obviously once I start dating someone, then yes, they do become a priority. And it is very, very difficult to manage school and work and social life and friends on top of dating.
Yeah.
It sucks sometimes. It's so stressful.
For me, I feel like I kind of go with the flow. If I meet someone, I meet someone. If I don't, then I don't. I don't really think it's a priority for me.
All right, question 2. Let's talk hookup culture versus dating. What are your opinions, thoughts, or feelings about it?
Hookup culture, I don't really do hookup culture. I'm very, I wouldn't say conservative. It's just more that I don't really trust people that much, and I just like to keep me and my body safe, so that's how I feel about it.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of hookup culture for myself. I've tried it, and it just I need that connection. So yeah, it just was not for me. But if you're both being safe, you're both adults, you got that autonomy, I think it's quite funny when people talk about sex because obviously it's an embarrassing topic, but also it's can we all recognize that sex is fun? Come on. I can understand hookup culture, and obviously if you want to have fun and you're being safe, go for it.
I feel if you're doing it safely, all means go do what you like. Personally, I don't partake in it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if I know I'm healthy and my other partner or whoever I'm doing it with.
Yeah, I would say similar. For me, that's not my thing because I'm very bad at conversing with people, but I never took part in it. But I wouldn't take away from anyone that does it. If that's what you feel is good for you right now, that's okay.
Definitely. We just really need to move past a lot of stuff and progress forward, body counts and ideas about purity with women and all that jazz. It's come on, guys. It's 2024. Can we get it going?
Okay. Question 3. In what ways can you better love yourself and others? That's a cute question.
One thing I'm really working on is trying to not say negative things about myself. Going into a lot of things, whether it's school or finding a job, I was very intimidated, and I would always say oh, we're not good at this. This is something we're not good at. So now I'm trying to tell myself yes, we're capable. We've done many things this, and that, and they've all got us to where we're at today. So you're capable of doing it. So just that self-talk, I'm trying to learn. And then I guess with loving others, trying to stay more open-minded and not let what they're saying get to me, rather listen to how they're saying it and where they're coming from to see how we can operate around it.
I would say I think negatively about myself a lot, and I feel that how can I say, affects my relationships with other people, because I don't view myself as lovable, I guess. So that is one thing I can work on.
Definitely. I completely agree. For myself, I think part of learning to love myself is, again, that self-talk and monitoring it all the time. because I don't know about you, but I have a lot of intrusive thoughts. And those are the thoughts that are just like, you're not good enough, you're worthless, like, you can't do this. And they'll just pop in, and you can let them destroy your day, or you can learn to counteract them. And so learning to counteract that negative self-talk with positive self-talk, that's how I love myself.
Yeah. I would have to say I feel the same way. It took me a while to learn how to love myself, and I could see that it was affecting a lot of my relationships. So I took a break from relationships for the longest time just so I could learn how to love myself and just understand myself as a person so I could then love another person, if that makes sense.
What do you do specifically, if I can ask?
Honestly, it's more like dealing with the negative thoughts. Whenever I think of something negative about myself, I try to turn it into a positive thing, which I know sounds kind of like cliche, but you really, really have to really work on that. So that's what I just kind of do.
A question 4. Okay. Which would you rather receive, flowers or candy?
For me, flowers. I'm a girly girl, so I really love flowers and candy. I'm not really into sweets. I'm more of a hot Cheeto girl, so flowers.
Neither, to be honest. I don't like flowers because they make me sad because they die. And I'm like, just leave them in the ground so they can grow. And I don't have like an incredible sweet tooth. What I do like, and one of my previous partners did this for Valentine's Day, they gave me a sheep heart in a jar. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Or a dead bug.
That's
I really like dead bugs.
I've never heard of that.
I would say flowers too, but I love sweets, so I mean, both doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have flowers. I think they're very pretty, so I'm like.
Yeah, me too. I decorate my room with flowers all the time.
Yeah, for me, I would say I've barely received my first flowers. My girlfriend actually sent me some for Valentine's Day, so that was like I was like, wow, what is this feeling? Like, this never happened before. I know. it was so weird, but like, I was so thankful and grateful that happened. But I am a big candy guy. Like, that's my go-to stress snack. So I would say I'd rather receive candy.
What kind of candy though? Are we talking like gummy?
No, I'm in love with chocolate. Like, any chocolate, except for dark chocolate or white chocolate. So I guess not any chocolate, but like milk chocolate. You know, milk chocolate. If you want to go crazy, adding caramel or some like peanut butter. But yeah.
Little maybe. Maybe.
So name 2 red flags and 2 green flags.
2 red flags I would say is not willing to communicate, like people that just want to argue and you can say anything and they just focus on what they're gonna say back. I think that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Another red flag I would say is, I guess, talking over me. Like, I'm already not a very vocal person, so like when I do want to say something, like I want to make sure that whoever I'm talking to is being heard. So if like I get interrupted, like I just don't feel like continuing the conversation after that.
I would say controlling, and yeah, I can only think of one. I mean, untrustworthy. I mean, I feel like that would tie into my green flag. Like, you have to trust me and respect me, I guess. Those are my 2, I guess. So.
Definitely. I've had friends that were similar. Like, they had a very like low speaking pattern, and you really gotta give them time to like just like give them a moment, and they have like the best things to say. There was one dude and he was always quiet, and then he had the best freaking jokes, and I'd be like, you were holding that in like for the past 5 years. But yeah, my 2 red flags, I don't know if this one's kind of mean, but this is just mainly for men. If they don't have female friends, like, or if they can't collaborate with women, like, that's my red flag, and that's a major one, and that's one I can't ignore. I'm like, if you're always complaining about women and not able to work with them, then I'm like, And I guess the other main one, I don't know. I would say also communication, like you said, because it's either they're not willing to communicate or they're like not putting in the effort to do so. Either way, it's like, it's not gonna work.
For me, 2 red flags. I guess how they treat like service people. I feel like
That
you
is
can
such a
really,
good-
yeah.
that's such a
I feel
good
like you can
one.
really tell a person through how they treat other people. Another red flag. I don't really know. Let me think about that real quick. What did you say? There was
I
one
say
agreed to.
controlling and then untrustworthy.
I would say controlling as well. Yeah. 2 green flags. I don't really know. I just look at the red flags, so green flags. How they treat their family. Like if they're really nice to them, the way they speak to them. And I don't know. I guess how they treat me too. If they open the doors for me, green flag. Cute. Loving.
All right, so for green flag, I would say someone that has good like presence. Like whenever they're in the room, like everyone else is like uplifted. Like they just have that energy that like you can come up and talk to them. And then another green flag would be, for me, I would say work ethic. So like if someone's hardworking, I know they're always going to be trying to like work on our relationship as well. They're not just going to give up on the first like bad thing that happens. So I think that's pretty big.
Those are 2 really big ones. Kind of similar to that, I would say a big green flag would be people who have like aspirations and like goals. Because I've had like previous partners that didn't have like goals set in their life, and I was like, what are we doing then? Like, what's going on here? And then I think the final green flag would be if they're good with pets. I got pets. Be nice to them.
Pets can always tell.
Pets can tell, dog. It's like crazy. Like if my cat don't like you, I don't like you either.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram at FS Health Center, where we're going to share more opportunities to take that deeper dive into wellness and to have some fun at the same time. You can also visit our website at fresnostate.edu/health to learn more about the programs and services available at the Student Health and Counseling Center.